A writer by profession, but I prefer to be a columnist, and a columnist sort of moves from one item to another. I love three-dot columns, every item as short as possible, and wait a minute is wait a minute and something else will come along. I find myself increasingly wanting to travel. I don't know because I'm a travel writer by profession, or just that things have gotten so bad that I'm glad to leave the country most of the time. My friend Sasha says that the summer of love was the 60s, and this is the summer of hate. I don't think it's necessarily hate, but it is the decade or the era of greed and selfishness. And one of the troubles is that our government is not exactly setting a good example, because they seem to be all for the haves and not for the have-nots. I know that conservatives would think this is ridiculous, but the days of Franklin D. Roosevelt, when America was a country that was proud of itself, humane, generous, kind, and thought of the have-nots all the time, as much of the time as the haves, it tried to even things up a bit. Now the gap grows increasingly every year. More and more rich people, more and more poor people, and the gap between them widens all the time. It's not just this government, it's just in general that greed prevails. It's kind of sad, because it's almost like nobody cares anymore about the people that aren't successful, the people that are poor, and the people that don't seem to have any way to lift themselves out of the misery. The Rush Limbaugh solution is very simple. Why don't these people get off their ass and work? Easily said by somebody who's making $1 million a year and never meets a poor person, apparently. Which also brings me to something else. You do have a voice, and the voice is public access. Anybody can do a show. As you can see, it's really easy. All you need is a video camera. The only thing that I have brought to it in 20 years of doing this show, even though I'm a lousy technician, is that I know how to edit in the camera. In other words, you only videotape what you're going to use, and then you don't have to spend hours and money afterwards cutting it down to the 28 minutes that is the essence of the show. So I encourage everybody to just get a video camera and play. Apart from being creative and constructive, it focuses you not only in what you're doing, but in your life in general. The attitude today is basically, what's in it for me? If there's not money to be made, why should I bother? But you know, that's not the way an artist and a creative person thinks. An artist thinks, I want to do this. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, and if I can make it pay for itself, so much the better. But in the meantime, I'm going to do it because I like doing it.